Hey,
How
I'm
about you let
happy
us
to
know
be
how
here.
Astronomicon was?
Yeah.
Astronomicon, y'all. Actually, I had a blast at Astronomicon.
Did you meet Napoleon Dynamite?
He canceled. John Heater canceled, but
Oh damn, what a waste.
I just want to say, like, publicly, and I thank them individually and privately, I guess. But the guys who ran Astronomicon, the staff, were just amazing. Everything was just great. Twisted it was their convention. They started it, and they were great. Honestly, they weren't walking around like big timing anyone, especially when they could have been in the Detroit area. That's where they're from. And they were so good with their fans. Like, I was watching them with their fans all weekend, and they were just amazing. And I got an opportunity to hang out with them one-on-one, not for very long, like at all. But, I just was like, hey, thanks for bringing me out. And they were like, no, thank you. And whatever. So it was really, really cool, actually.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun, man. There was a lot of people that I grew up watching, like not only in the wrestling world, but just like on film. Tony Moran, he played Michael Myers in the original Halloween.
You got your pop sign.
Yeah, I got my pop figure signed by him. I got a picture taken with him. Kane Hodder, he was there, who he played Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, like basically from 6 on. So to me,
How unfortunate.
He is Jason. Actually, in my opinion, 6 is probably the best one of all of them. Like, that one is actually really, really, really good. But it was funny because he called me creepy. So I had gone with one of the main organizers there. There were I got something for our Kingsley. I got something for Kingsley, something that's Twisted related, because he's a huge fan of Twisted. And I got this on Saturday night, like super late. And he was like, hey, if you want the guys to sign that, I'll make it happen tomorrow. I was like, well, if I see him out here, whatever, I'll go up to him. He goes, no, they're not going to be signing it all tomorrow. He goes, but if you want that signed, it will happen. I was like, yeah, that'd be great. Especially since it wasn't for me. It's a gift for Kingsley. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give it to him, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want him to hear it right now. So anyhow,
Pretty sure he's not listening.
I mean, he may not be, but he comes up to me, late in the day, like 3:00, and he's like, hey, you still want that sign? I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do this. So we actually go to Twisted's room, and they weren't there yet. Ooh. But Kane Hodder was getting into makeup, like he was going to do something with them for like a panel later in the day. And he kind of looked around the makeup artist, and this guy's name was Mike. He's like, oh, it's just me. And he goes, it's not just you. He goes, it's you and some creepy guy. And he was joking. And I was like, oh, I'm the creepy one. And he actually got, kind of a little chuckle out of that one. But yeah, I got called creepy by Kane Hodder. That was freaking dope as shit. So then anyways, we went and handled something. We came back, and I met the Twisted guys, and they were just super fucking humbled. And I mean, everything was great. And I got asked all weekend, how's Juggalo, country treating you? Man, everybody, they were awesome, dude. Like, the Juggalo nation is still a very, very real and strong thing. Like, these guys are just, and everybody was super cool, super laid back. No one, I mean, there were no fights, no bitching, nothing like that. Weren't looking at people like me who didn't look like them, so to a large degree, I kind of was an outcast in that sort of type of setting. And everybody was really, really cool, really nice. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash were there. Dan actually, he rode to the hotel from the airport with Scott Hall. And he was in the car with Scott Hall, and I get a text. He's like, dude, fucking Scott Hall is sitting in the front seat right now. We're sharing a car. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. So, and Dan wrestles. He's a big wrestling fan as well. So that was really, really cool.
Nice.
Jason Mewes, Jay from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He was.
Did you get to talk to him?
I didn't get to talk to him, dude. No, his line was like 70,000 people deep. It was fucking nuts. He was like a last minute ad. They added him like 3 days before the con. And Billy, I guess, was just checking out the website on the way there. And he goes, holy fuck. I was like, what? And I thought, I don't know, I hit something, or, something tried to run out or whatever. And he was like, fucking Jason Mewes is going to be there. I was like, get the fuck out of here. So John Heater canceled. They get Jason Mewes. That's a pretty fair trade-off, in my opinion, honestly.
I mean, they still lost Angry Video Game Nerd too.
Yeah, well, AVGN couldn't make it. His plane never got off the ground, and he waited there for hours and hours and hours, and eventually was just like, it ain't gonna happen. But no, that's okay, because we had a collecting panel Friday night at 8 p.m. and it was me, Dan, Billy, and Justin sat in on it, which Justin Silverman, he's not dumb. He's a smart dude. He knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about, and he can be very, very, very professional. And he was.
Well, he's a troll. That's why.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's how trolls work. You gotta give him the Kansas City shuffle.
Right. No, right. You're right. Well, the funny thing about Justin is, like, you got Silvermania, which he's an asshole. Silvermania is an asshole. And you got Justin Silverman.
Did he bitch to you at all about me while I was getting on his ass about the shirts?
No, he didn't. But if he'd have said something, I'd have been like, yo, then do it, and you won't have to hear it, right? Because we know Justin like that. So along with that, though, you guys ever heard of Mr. Creepypasta?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd heard the name before. I had no clue what he looked like. I've never seen any of his stuff.
You've met him at too many games twice.
Right. Okay, so anyhow, was I drunk? Probably a good chance of that, right? He's
another Screenwave guy, and he follows us actually.
Right. So his booth was actually right next to ours, and I just overheard him was talking to a fan. I overheard him say he was from Texas, and when they left, I was like, "Hey, I wouldn't like eavesdrop or anything, but I heard you say you're from Texas. What part?" He's like, "Oh, Dallas Fort Worth." I was like, "No shit, I'm same area." He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, I live in Arlington," and he goes, "Dude, I'm in Richardson." I was like, "It's fucking awesome." So we just kind of had this moment, like when Texans meet each other in a completely different part of the country, you just kind of automatically bond, even though apparently I've met the guy twice, and I guarantee you I was drunk when I did. Otherwise, I'd have remembered it. So his panel was right after ours. And we saw him walk in. He was getting ready, just kind of chilling in the back. And, we're all up there. Honestly, we're half fucking drunk. And we call him up there, and he comes and sits down. And his audience was kind of filtering in at that point, and just kind of introduced him to the people that were just, there for us and whatnot. And our time kind of ran out, and it was bleeding into his, and he was like, you guys stay up here if you want. So like, okay, cool. So he did this like live read of a horror story, and dude, such a great fucking storyteller. Like, he puts the right emphasis on the right words, and just fucking nails everything. It was awesome. And then after that, it just went into general horror talk, movies, games, and all that kind of stuff. And for those of you who don't know, like, I'm really, really huge. I love horror. Like, that's just a thing. It always has been. I mean, I'm 6 years old watching Nightmare on Elm Street and shit. It was great. I love that. So the next day, like after the panel, we took off, we go and eat, and he was, doing some meet and greet with the fans and whatnot. And next morning, he's like, "Hey, where did you run off to? Like, I was looking for you after the panel, and I couldn't find you. You just disappeared." He's like, "I had no idea you were that much into horror stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, like that's my fucking jam, whatever." And he was like, "I wanted to talk to you more about it." And of course, we're right next to each other and on the vendor floor, and we had like this hour-and-a-half conversation of just horror movies and stuff, like really before it got super, super busy, and we obviously couldn't. But no, the dude was fucking awesome. And I'll tell you guys this now, I like to do exclusive things and give outside, insider information, I guess, behind the scenes information. But I've talked to him about coming to Retropalooza. So when he was like, "Yes, fucking please." So I'm going to email him tomorrow. So Mr. Creepypasta should be added to the Retropalooza lineup very soon.
Nice.
He'll come to the Dallas one for sure. We'll talk about Houston and San Antonio, but
is he going to be above me?
I'm sorry.
Is he going to be above me?
I mean, he has 1.3 million subs, so yeah, he'll be above you. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I'm close.
I had the pleasure of meeting Twisted a few years ago. One of my buddies, he's actually in that when me and my friends Chuckles and Josh, my friend Josh, we did the Boogle Patrol.
Yeah.
He has a public access Juggalo TV show here in town for like the last 10 years. He actually edited a few of Twisted's music videos back in the day, and Twisted, whenever he would come and do concerts in town, Twisted would just go over and stay at Josh's house, like on his couch, and just do barbecues and stuff. So
that's cool.
I met Twisted while he won't remember who the hell I am, but this was like 2009, the last time I met him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, like I said, with my personal experience with those guys, they're fucking awesome. like all the what's their label? Magic Ninja Entertainment, I think.
Thought it was like Psycho.
So Psychopathic is actually ICP. They
Oh.
broke off. They started their own record label. I think it's Magic Ninja Entertainment. Someone in the comments correct me if I'm not wrong or if I'm right about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Any videos of the panels? I don't know that they were filmed. Honestly, I didn't film any of the panels, so I don't know. I don't know about that. Sorry. But no. Anyways, that's like, dude. Yeah, Astronomicon was awesome.
Funding for the Game Chasers and the Shady J Show is made possible from our patrons on Patreon. Thank you.